Meanwhile, the beaters comb the valley, trying to scare out a hare or a fox. But the Altai is also a land inhabited by wolves, an animal very much feared by the Kazakhs, as it frequently attacks their cattle. If a wolf appears, the hunters all release their eagles together, even though they know it may suffer serious injuries or even death. Now, all they can do is to be patient and wait. A female fox has left her den, frightened out by the cries of the trackers. With his old binoculars, Kosan does not let her out of his sight. Meanwhile, Altai Khan has taken the tomaga, the hood of his eagle, and it begins to scan the horizon. The vixen continues to flee, desperately seeking somewhere to hide. The eagles of Kumar Khan and Talai Khan have just spotted the prey and immediately shoot off towards her. Talai Khan's eagle is the first to reach the vixen. Talai Khan sets off at a gallop down the mountainside in the hope of getting there before the precious fur of the prey is damaged, or before the vixen, fighting for her life, wounds his eagle. But miraculously, the vixen has managed to get free from the claws of her predator, and wounded runs off trying to escape, but she will not get far. Immediately, Shekin, who up to now has been simply a spectator, decides to go into action, and removing the hood from his eagle, launches it into the sky. The vixen, frightened, exhausted, and knowing that her fate has been decided, decides to give in. Crouching down in a last futile attempt to remain unnoticed, she resignedly awaits certain death. After immobilizing her rear legs, the eagle attacks the head of the vixen, paralyzing it with the tip of its claws, capable of applying pressure of hundreds of kilos per square centimeter. When Talai Khan catches up with the eagles, the vixen is already dead. Now he must free it from the claws, a by no means easy task. These hunters always use female golden eagles, which they consider to be much more aggressive than the males. With a wingspan of some 2 meters and weighing 7 kilos, they possess two very important qualities when it comes to hunting. Their speed, they can reach up to 160 kilometers an hour as they swoop down, and their extraordinary sight, perhaps 8 times as acute as that of humans. With a whistle and attracted by a piece of meat, the eagles return to the arms of their masters. Talay Khan began to learn the noble art of hunting when he was just 6 years old, and in his family there has always been a great hunting tradition. Kumar Khan, his father, is one of the most respected hunters in the region, and for any family to have a hunter among its members is a sign of prestige and wealth. Only those who own many head of cattle can allow themselves the luxury of breeding and training eagles. In the past, it was a sport practiced in Central Asia only by the elite. The Cossacks use nets to trap eagles when they have just eaten and so are unable to fly. For the first month they are kept inside the ger to accustom them to the sounds and smells. Then, for several weeks, they are trained so they maintain their balance on the arm of the rider as he gallops along. Finally, and most difficult of all, they are trained to return to their master after they've been released. From the time they are caught, they always remain close by him, even sleeping at his side. In the middle of October, this far north, the days become increasingly short, and though it is only 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it is time to return to the camp, and the hunters set off down the mountainside. The sun rapidly sinks in the sky, and little by little the gentle colors of twilight envelop the peaks of Altai. In the dying light of day, the Kazakh hunters reach the camp where a fine meal of lamb awaits them. But before they can eat, they must feed the hungry eagles exhausted after the first flights of the winter. Kumar Khan, the master hunter, gives them cow liver to eat in a wooden bowl so they won't damage their beaks. Each one of these birds of prey can eat 2 cows in a single year. Around a dish of succulent lamb prepared in the traditional manner, the hunters give thanks to Allah and without losing a minute start to devour the delicious meat. But tonight is a special night, and not just because they are celebrating the start of the hunting season. Tomorrow, the 5 friends will set out for Jorjok, a small settlement 4 days' ride away, where a group of hunters is going to meet for the first time to hold the competition. The rest of the family will pack up camp and move to their winter home. With all the calm in the world and still feeling the effects of the previous night's vodka, Kumar Khan, Altai Khan, Talay Khan, Shekan and Kusan prepare their horses for the long journey. Meanwhile, the women and children will, in little over half an hour, take down the gers. Unlike the other nomadic tribes of the country, the Kazakhs spend the winter in small houses made of wood and adobe in the lowlands, which make the temperatures of 45 degrees below zero, normal at this time of year, slightly more bearable. They are seasonal nomads. That is, they only migrate 4 times a year, coinciding with the seasons.